Kelvin fashion. He didn't keep his word on that. He'd rather spend that money on his side chick. Bought her a Ferrari as a push present, but that car, according to the Daily Mail, got repossessed the day after Wendy announced the divorce. You know you can't afford those type of toys, Kev.
I don't recommend that you work with your husband because I made him my manager, and then when I decided to divorce him, he had to be fired. In other words, I made him divorced and unemployed all in one day.
Sharina Hudson has officially turned on Kevin Hunter, and now Wendy Williams' money is at the center of a brand new drama. Just as Wendy Williams prepares for her highly anticipated return to television, Kevin Hunter is reportedly trying to crawl back into her good graces. But there's one huge problem. Sharina Hudson is not having it. Sources say the fallout between Sharina and Kevin has gotten so bad that she's now determined to make sure Kevin pays the price. And she's not holding back. In fact, Sharina is allegedly warning that if Wendy ever takes Kevin back, she could lose control of her finances for good. With Wendy stepping back into the spotlight, old alliances are breaking, new battles are forming, and the fight over money and power might be just getting started.
Wendy Williams' husband has filed a $260 million lawsuit claiming that Wendy is being held against her will in an illegal guardianship, has caused all sorts of financial and emotional damage. Problem is, he's divorced from her, and she doesn't like her much.
No, it was not a great
She didn't like
divorce.
him much.
And even though she's had to pay him out a whole lot of money over a lot of years, she doesn't want him a part of this. And you know this straight from the source.
Well, I know it's straight from the source because before I talked to the source, meaning Wendy, it was just apparent to me. I mean, he's filing this as Kevin Hunter, her friend. I mean, when does a friend have standing to file a 200? She had no idea about this lawsuit.
Right now, it looks almost certain that Wendy Williams could be free from her controversial guardianship any day now. Remember, the main reason Wendy was placed under this extremely restrictive guardianship for more than 3 years was an initial diagnosis claiming she had frontotemporal dementia. But new developments are raising serious questions about that diagnosis. Wendy reportedly took a new medical test, and the results showed no signs that she has ever had the condition at all. If that's true, it completely changes the situation, because without that diagnosis, the legal grounds for the guardianship could disappear. On top of that, Wendy's new manager says she has been making steady improvements, and there are already people in the television world quietly preparing for the possibility of her comeback. And let's be honest, daytime TV has not been the same since Wendy stepped away. Love her or hate her, nobody really filled the massive space she left behind. So if Wendy does return, there's serious money waiting on the table. Even more interesting? The daytime slot once held by Sherri Shepherd has reportedly opened up after her show was canceled. That suddenly creates the perfect opportunity for Wendy to step right back into the spotlight. But just as that door starts opening, someone from Wendy's past is trying to walk right back into her life. Yes, Kevin Hunter. Kevin has reportedly been claiming that Wendy will need someone she can truly trust if she returns to television. And according to him, who better than her former manager and ex-husband? Yeah, people aren't exactly buying that.
A shout out to my husband. I'm still wearing my ring. He's my best friend, he's my lover, he's all this and he's all that. I know what you've been seeing, and I knew what the streets have been talking about.
Wendy set the record straight on reports that her husband, Kevin Hunter, allegedly had a years-long affair with a massage therapist.
I am still very much in love with my husband, and anybody who's been married for 5 minutes or 500 years, you know, marriages have ebbs and flows. Marriages are not easy. Don't ask me about mine until you see this gone. And it ain't going anywhere.
After all, this is the same man who allegedly carried on a decade-long affair, had a child with his mistress, and still tried to collect thousands in alimony from Wendy while she was fighting serious health and legal battles under guardianship. Kevin has been trying to reinsert himself into Wendy's life and her finances for quite some time now. At one point, He publicly presented himself as her defender, claiming he wanted to get Wendy out of the facility where she was staying. He even filed a $250 million lawsuit, arguing that the guardianship was abusive and asking to be appointed as Wendy's next friend so he could manage her affairs. But the judge quickly shut that down, ruling that Kevin was not in any position to take control of Wendy's guardianship. Still, that hasn't stopped him. Insiders claim Kevin has continued trying to reconnect with Wendy, possibly using their son and whatever emotional connection she may still feel toward him as a way to slowly work his way back in. One blind item even alleged that the former talk show host's notorious ex is now attempting to win her back after being dumped by his longtime mistress once the money ran out. If that rumor is true, then Kevin may be hoping Wendy still cares enough about him to give him another chance. But with Wendy possibly reclaiming her freedom and a massive TV comeback potentially on the horizon, the real question is this: is Kevin trying to help Wendy or trying to get back to the money?
She is tired of hiding the relationship, okay? She's tired of being a side bitch. She's tired of having abortions and shit like that. And she just wants Wendy out of the picture so that she can live her life out and free with her man and not have to sneak and meet Kevin in random places and shit like that, okay?
But according to Sharina Hudson, getting back with Kevin Hunter could end up being the worst mistake Wendy Williams ever made in her career. And the reason Sharina feels so strongly about it is simple. She knows Kevin's real motives because, for years, she was right there in the middle of it all. What's even crazier is how the whole situation allegedly started. Sharina was reportedly introduced to Kevin by Charlemagne the God back when he and Wendy were still working together, and everything in Wendy's career seemed to be going great. At the time, Sharina had her own dreams. She wanted to become a chef and build a small empire of food trucks. But when Kevin entered her life, he allegedly promised her something very different. He promised she would be completely taken care of. And according to reports, he kept that promise. Sharina quickly became what many people described as a kept woman, living a life filled with expensive cars, jewelry, and even a house, luxuries that were reportedly paid for with Wendy's money. Some reports even claimed that when Kevin wasn't getting enough money from Wendy, he would allegedly sell belongings or take items from her without permission just to raise funds for the lifestyle he and Sharina were living. The heartbreaking part is that Wendy reportedly didn't notice what was happening at the time because she genuinely loved and trusted Kevin. And even if Wendy had started to question things, Kevin allegedly had ways to protect himself legally. He could claim the items were community property, or say Wendy had given him permission to take them during moments when she was intoxicated and might not remember. In other words, he always had an explanation ready. There were also rumors surrounding a charity Kevin ran, allegations that it was sometimes used to funnel money or buy gifts for his mistress. The situation reportedly became even more shocking during vacations. Sources claimed that whenever Kevin and Wendy traveled, Sharina would sometimes be nearby as well, complete with her own bodyguard, just to make sure she and Wendy never crossed paths. At the time, Sharina allegedly didn't question much of what Kevin was doing. That's because he kept promising her the same thing over and over again, that one day he would leave Wendy and start a life with her. But insiders say Kevin had his own timeline. According to those claims, he planned to leave only after Wendy had been financially drained. For a while, that story made sense to Sharina, which is why she stayed. She believed it was only a matter of time before Kevin officially became her husband. But as their relationship approached the 10-year mark, Sharina reportedly started having doubts. And that's when things between them began to change. When authorities arrived, however, Kevin allegedly refused to leave Wendy's side, making it nearly impossible for them to speak with her privately. There had also been whispers in the past about Kevin allegedly putting his hands on Wendy, but those stories never gained traction, reportedly because Wendy wanted to protect her husband. Now, with Wendy potentially preparing for a comeback, many believe one thing is certain: letting Kevin back into her life would be a massive mistake. And while people may have strong opinions about Sharina Hudson, some believe she might actually be telling the truth this time, especially if she feels she was manipulated for years. If Wendy truly returns to television, it could mean a brand new chapter for her career and her life. The real question now is, should Wendy ever let Kevin back into her world again? What do you think? Should Wendy stay as far away from Kevin as possible? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed the story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates.